Let's continue discussing Sam Tatam's book Evolutionary Ideas. In this section, we'll establish the theoretical framework of the entire book. If you have a keen eye, you'll notice tactics everywhere, in everyday economic behaviors. In this image, you see a tip jar at a deli in New York, with various dollar bills. Some tens, some fives, and some ones. It's a subtle reminder that tipping is appreciated here. Pay attention to how the bills are strategically placed. The tens are positioned at the top using a few cups, creating a visual hierarchy that guides you to look from top to bottom. It leverages the psychological anchoring effect, implying that tipping with a 10 is prestigious, while 5 is common, and 1 is less common. Now, look at this image from a cafe in Sydney, where customer loyalty cards cover the wall. With each coffee purchase, you earn a point, and collecting 7 points gets you a free coffee. The cafe displays these loyalty cards on the wall, ensuring you won't forget them. Is this a thoughtful service for the customers? This tactic is known as social proof. The cafe showcases loyalty cards to convey the message. Look, we have so many loyal customers. We are popular. These tactics are skillfully employed, turning psychology into an engineering tool. Traditional psychologists focus on why you might feel depressed. The new generation, however, explores how to change people's perception of a product's value without altering its price. How can you make people feel it's more worthwhile to own something? There are two methods. One is emphasizing scarcity through limited purchases or time-limited sales. The other, as mentioned earlier, is social proof, highlighting that everyone is buying this item. If you can communicate scarcity and social proof to consumers, their perceived value will increase. For example, a study on Campbell's soup cans tested a limited purchase strategy in different stores. One group had no purchase limits, one had a limit of 4 cans per person, and the third had a limit of 12 cans per person. Surprisingly, the strategy with a limit of 12 cans sold the most. This might be because canned goods are suitable for bulk buying, and the number 12 serves as an anchoring point, making consumers feel it's the right amount. Though these methods may seem cliché, they are highly effective. In a consulting project, Tatam implemented a simple strategy of limiting purchases to 4 items per person, resulting in a 56% increase in sales during the promotional period. Even if you're aware of these tactics, you might still fall for them. Why? Because these tactics are evolutionarily embedded in our brains. The human brain, with around 100 billion neurons interconnected in complex ways, is a powerful thinking machine capable of processing about 11 million pieces of information at any given time. However, consciously, we can only process about 40 pieces of information at most. This means we must pre-process and compress the information we receive to be aware of it. This pre-processing is incredibly intelligent. For instance, when your hand touches a hot stove, it automatically pulls away. This process is automatic and resolves in the pre-processing stage, not requiring conscious judgment. This is what we call fast thinking. Daniel Kahneman, in Thinking, Fast and Slow, refers to it as System 1. Fast, intuitive, automatic thinking, also known as heuristics. System 1 judgments are sometimes wrong, termed cognitive biases. On the other hand, System 2, slow thinking, is conscious, more deliberate, suitable for logical reasoning. The ideal scenario might be to have System 2 in control of System 1, as described by Jonathan Haidt. System 1 is the elephant, and System 2 is the rider guiding the elephant forward. However, the elephant has its own ideas. For example, if the elephant sees something delicious nearby, it might not follow the rider's command and go straight for it. When the rider guides the elephant to the edge of a cliff, the elephant automatically keeps a distance. The crucial realization here is that our daily lives are mainly controlled by the elephant, not the rider, and our lives flow smoothly thanks to System 1. Hear a loud noise, and you jump because there might be danger. See others doing something, and you follow, because it likely has benefits. If a product on the shelf is almost sold out, you're eager to grab it, because it's probably in high demand. There's a saying in Chinese, give before you take, which aligns with the reciprocity principle in psychology. If someone is kind to you, you naturally want to reciprocate. It makes sense. How else would you thrive in a community? An English proverb goes, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. We prefer certain immediate benefits over uncertain future gains, which is reasonable given our long history where food could spoil or be stolen, if not consumed promptly. These heuristics are shortcuts formed during the evolutionary process, adaptations, good ideas that the brain came preloaded with. So, naturally, you fall for them. Behavioral science aims to use these deeply ingrained thoughts to influence you. However, in modern society, these heuristics might work against you, because the current environment differs significantly from the primitive settings our brains evolved in. One clear example is the ability to save money. A concept that didn't exist in our evolutionary past. Having the foresight to save for a better tomorrow challenges the traditional inclination for immediate gratification. Yet, the big picture is that the help system one provides far outweighs its errors. Moreover, we can use these heuristics to make better choices. There's a famous book called Nudge that talks about this principle. The key point in Tatam's book is that all these heuristics can be compiled into a systematic solution similar to TRIZ, creating a checklist-style, manualized solution. To proficiently use this system, you first need to know the names of various psychological phenomena. Interestingly, there's a pattern. When you don't know a psychological tactic's name, you don't see it. But once you know its name, you see it everywhere. And your thinking and actions are influenced. Knowing these names is crucial. For instance, in Chinese and English, deep blue and light blue are both considered blue, and we don't perceive a strong difference. However, in Greek and Russian, deep blue and light blue are two completely different words, representing distinct colors. Experiments show that Greeks and Russians are more sensitive to the difference between deep and light blue compared to English speakers. Additionally, we are aware of tenses in English, where the future and present are expressed differently. However, Chinese doesn't have tenses. The future and present are articulated the same way. Reflecting this in action, people in the English-speaking world are less inclined to save money, preferring immediate enjoyment, as there's a clear distinction between the future and the present for them. Why do Chinese people love to save money? Perhaps because, linguistically, they consider the future and present equally important. So, the TRIZ system in psychology needs to first name various psychological phenomena. Recognizing them gives you a framework for actions. Having a framework is crucial. In 1999, Israel conducted a print advertising competition, with 200 ads winning prizes. Researchers found that 89% of these successful ads could be explained using 6 creative templates. They intentionally or unintentionally employed one of 6 fixed advertising patterns. For example, one pattern is setting extreme conditions. To prove a Jeep's all-weather driving capability, it might be shown driving in the snow. Many successful ads used this tactic. Researchers also analyzed unsuccessful ads and found that only 2.5% followed any of the template's patterns. This discovery is significant. Success follows a pattern. There's a method to it. Failure, on the other hand, is without a pattern. Each failure is unique. This is excellent news for us. It means success is learnable. Whether an ad or a promotional method works or not is not random, not a sudden burst of inspiration. There's a pattern, a science. This is why your learning is meaningful, your experience and expertise have value. Don't chase after fanciful ideas. Aim for regularity. We've discussed multiple times that storytelling, writing, even academic papers, can follow a template known as the hero's journey. Even a scholarly article can be written as a hero's story. You might think this approach sounds cliché, but the key is how you package it. Someone deconstructed the novels of Agatha Christie, the famous British detective fiction writer, and found that she used a nearly identical pattern. Discovering a body, a detective examining the crime scene, collecting clues, questioning suspects, and finally identifying the murderer. Yet, Christie dressed this template in different clothes each time, keeping it fresh. Creativity might surpass the framework, but it shouldn't detach from it. In his book, Tatam provides various tactics, utilizing biomimicry or inherent thought patterns. One example is the owl butterfly, which evolved a pattern resembling a pair of predator eyes on its wings. Predators, upon seeing these eyes, mistakenly perceive the butterfly as another predator and get scared, avoiding an attack. In 2020, in Botswana, a project aimed to prevent local cattle from being preyed upon by lions and leopards by painting a pair of eyes on the rear end of the cattle. The predators indeed decreased their attacks. Did you notice the commonality between ordering Domino's pizza and buying a BMW? One is that both allow customization. You tell the pizza place what toppings you want, and you can pre-specify the car's configuration. The other commonality is that, after placing an order, you can track when it's being made and when it will be delivered, giving you the ability to trace the entire process. These two practices align perfectly with behavioral science. Customizing a product is the IKEA effect, referring to the finding that, involving customers in the production process increases the perceived value of the product. Allowing customers to track the progress of a product is called operational transparency. It seems the art of selling has always been ubiquitous. There's even an argument that these psychological effects are more critical than a product's technology because, in today's age, sales are more crucial than product performance. Think about it. Sometimes, it's challenging to determine how much of people's purchases are for practical reasons versus emotional needs. Next, this book will teach you how to use behavioral science in 5 aspects. 1. Strengthening trust without changing facts. 2. Helping make decisions without restricting choices. 3. Triggering actions without forcing reactions. 4. Increasing loyalty without adding rewards. 5. Improving experiences without changing time. Stay tuned as I explain each one.
If you feel there is value in this, please like, subscribe to this channel, and leave your thoughts or suggestions in the comments section. Let's grow together and read more good books.